One night a year, ghosts and goblins, demons and fairies all come out to roam the mortal realm as the veil between this world and the spirit world thins. Children dress up as superheroes and creepy ghouls and go door to door begging for treats, and those who don't provide may just get a trick. Why do we celebrate this spooky day, and where did the traditions come from? Let's take a look at the history in this very special edition of Josh's Cemetery Chats. Welcome back to the least professional channel on YouTube, and welcome to Josh's Cemetery Chats. Today is my favorite day of the year, Halloween. The roots of Halloween can be traced back all the way to a little over 2,000 years ago, in a pre-Christian Celtic festival known as Samhain. Loosely translated from Gaelic, Samhain means summer's end, and was celebrated around the 1st of November. We don't fully understand the entire ritual around the day, but it included time to prepare for the winter following the harvest and bringing animals in from the pasture. It's also thought that it was a time to commune with the dead, as spirits of those that had been lost were able to cross the border between their world and our own. Though there is no direct connection to Samhain, the thought is that All Saints' Day, celebrated on November 1st, and Samhain influenced each other over time and became what we know today as Halloween. Trick-or-treating in the United States started in the early 1900s, born out of the Irish and Scottish traditions known as goosing or souling. This was an old world tradition which entailed children dressing up in homemade costumes and going door to door asking for food. This was also a time when pranks began to emerge as a pastime for rowdy kids and teens. The most prominent explanation for the tricks dates back to the celebration of Guy Fawkes Day in Great Britain. This was celebrated every year on the 5th of November in remembrance of the night when Catholic and Protestant tensions nearly exploded due to the gunpowder plot of 1605. This was an event where, very oversimplified, a group of Catholic followers, led in part by a man named Guy Fawkes, attempted to assassinate King James I of Britain by placing explosives beneath the House of Lords. The plot was foiled when Guy Fawkes was discovered below the building with the explosives. Following this event, Protestants would celebrate Guy Fawkes Day on November 5th every year as a triumph over popery. The celebrations would include anti-Catholic sermons, vandalism of Catholic homes and businesses, and the lighting of bonfires and the hanging of a figure, usually the Pope, in effigy. Children would go door to door wearing masks and pushing an effigy of Guy Fawkes in a wheelbarrow and begged for money or treats, threatening vandalism if they were refused. This tradition was carried on in a way when the British came to the New World, America. The Puritans that came over from Great Britain would avoid celebrating holidays attached to pagan traditions like Christmas and Easter, but continued to celebrate Guy Fawkes Day up until the American Revolution in the late 1700s. The tradition of souling was started sometime before the 1600s, following the Christianization of Samhain. It was a practice of going door to door and offering prayers for the deceased in return for a treat called a soul cake. It's believed that these prayers would help lift the souls from purgatory and into the afterlife. These traditions go much deeper, but for the sake of keeping the video from stretching into several hours, the most important thing to know is that they were all combined over time in the New World to form into the Halloween that we know today. Trick-or-treating itself is thought to have been started in the early 1900s in response to the annual tradition where children would use Halloween as an excuse to play pranks and vandalize communities. One story I found references acts like tipping over outhouses and egging homes. It is said that the tradition of having a party and handing out candy on Halloween for children may have been started by a Mrs. Elizabeth Krebs, who served on the Civic Committee for Hiawatha, Kansas. It is said that she got tired of having her town vandalized and her garden torn up every year on Halloween, and in 1913 she organized a party in hopes of tiring the children out. When that didn't work, she organized an even bigger event the following year with the whole town involved, and for the first time the town was saved from the terror of the unruly children. Once word of her success spread, more and more towns began adopting the practice, and over time trick-or-treating became an annual tradition, combining the parties and candy with the traditions already in place from souling. The practice briefly died out during World War II due to a sugar shortage caused by the war, but following that in the 1950s it became a national tradition. Jack-o'-lanterns are another oddity that started out much different. The story of Stingy Jack was an Irish folk story about a drunken con man who was able to fool the devil into banning him from hell. The problem was that because he lived such a sinful life, he was also unable to enter heaven. Being doomed to roam the earth as a spirit, he took a coal from the fiery pits of hell and put it inside of a turnip to light his way. On All Hallows Eve, the Irish would hollow out turnips, carve a face into them, and place a candle inside. They would carry them when they were out and about souling to protect them from the spirits like that of Stingy Jack. During the mid-1800s, there was a massive potato famine in Ireland, leading to a mass migration of Irish to America. When they arrived, they brought the tradition of souling, as well as the tale of Stingy Jack, and the practice of carving out turnips. They would find, however, that pumpkins were much easier to get a hold of and carve in America, and so turnips were exchanged for pumpkins, and the jack-o'-lantern was born. So what do you think about the history of Halloween? Like many holidays, the modern way we celebrate is a meddling of many traditions from all around the world and throughout history. I think it's even more awesome because of how it combines so many aspects of cultures to make what we know and love. There is, of course, the element of companies getting involved over the years to influence the candies we hand out and the costumes we'll wear. But at the end of the day, it's definitely my favorite holiday for the spooky stories and tales that are told. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. If you made it this far and haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? It just takes one click, 2 if you hit the bell, and it's completely free. I usually upload these cemetery chats on Tuesdays, though I couldn't resist posting this episode on Halloween. And I have a series called Ohio Legends and Tales, where I discuss the true history of urban legends and tales from all around the state of Ohio. Playlists for both can be found on the screen right now, so go check them out. That's all I have for now. Everybody have a happy Halloween, a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.